This is part 3 of my tutorial series, Kundalini Yoga. The topics are Kundalini, chakras and mantras in this part 3. There is a carefully considered progression of topics so that the student may begin to practice a method leading to safe Kundalini awakening and thence on to further spiritual enlightenment. My books on Amazon, specifically Om Divine Grace, gives more information regarding this topic. There are 4 other spiritual books, including one about my 10 years in India as a monk, titled Englishman, Beggar Man, Holy Man. To get a mantra initiation for Kundalini awakening, go to my blog web goddessmantra.guru. Sanskrit words are in italics when first used only. This is part 3. Mantras and gurus. If one takes the time to study this topic in some depth, one will find that there is a wealth of information and in-depth science of the power of word. Each mantra from the ancient historical past of India has an author, a wise sage. It has a supernatural being that informs the human component of the mantra. This can be in a seed form, which is called bija. Bija means seed, which is the subtle unconscious power of that entity, that divine being moving into the mantra, which can then move into the human who repeats the mantra. That sound then is allied to an energy, a particular energy of Shakti. Shakti means energy, or divine energy, or goddess energy, which is the unseen vibration of that sound, somewhat similar to sound waves, which can be heard when channeled through an instrument such as a radio. Wavelengths or energies or entities can be also connected to the chakras within the body. The Kundalini, when awakened, goes upwards through the chakras. A mantra is awakened through its use by the person using it. A mantra could also be merely supplementary to other spiritual practices, or vice versa. It could be the main practice. Sound. Sound equals forms through its vibrations. However, the mantra can be used as the key practice to whatever outcome is sought, whether that's enlightenment, or if you want money, or pass your exams, or whatever. There's mantras for everything. Sound produces forms through its vibrations, and the repetition of a particular mantra brings forth awareness of both the form that is meditated on and the purification that is sought, or the outcome that is sought. That outcome, of course, can be a practical thing in the real world. Logically, any person using a mantra would want to use one that is representing a favored deity, for one's form of God, goddess, high power, or a favored outcome. So the choice of one's deity or outcome becomes the choice of mantra. The mantra can also be a refuge. Its repetition can allow release or escape from certain difficult mental problems or thoughts and move the mind's focus to a more healthy location. Constant repetition is called japa. So japa over a long period can enable a shift from a deep-seated negative personal perspective towards the higher planes of light and energy. The mantra is, of course, a spiritual word, although you may hear that any word repeated has its own power. Logically, it does not make sense to repeat some obnoxious phrases. For instance, whilst eating dinner, certain words could provide unpleasant regurgitation. Logically, it makes sense to repeat something sweet light and healthy, unless one is a masochist. Om. This is the most important mantra. Om is well known by many across the world. It is considered, however, by some teachers to be a mantra more suited for those of monastic inclination. Other mantras are the names of one's preferred deity or higher power. There are a plethora of mantras in Buddhism, untold numbers in Hinduism, and under different titles many such uses of sacred words in other religions, usually as prayers or incantations. Om is considered to be the most important mantra, and longer mantras generally begin with Om. It is also a seed mantra. However, other seed or bija mantras can be considered to be goddess mantras, and they are part of the Tantric tradition, being themselves a core element of Tantric practice. Now, this is where my teaching somewhat diverges and goes into the relating of mantras to chakras, and my particular form of mantra initiation for Kundalini awakening is about relating and using specific mantras, seed mantras, for specific chakras. I make the use of seed mantras with Kundalini Yoga quite simple in future tutorials, so there will be another series of tutorials about this, and as previously suggested, one can go to my web blog site to read more about this. So the mantra, does it need to be imparted by a guru, a teacher? It is considered by most teachers that a mantra should be imparted by someone who has a teacher role or specific knowledge and wisdom of this area. Certainly mantras have been taken up from books, from inner intuition, by divine initiation, from a non-physical teacher or deity, or by other means. However, to get the power of the mantra, this power can be further initiated by a living guru, and that is what I discuss when I talk about mantra initiation. The Bij mantras, including Om, are considered to be more powerful and therefore more suitable to practitioners initiated into the wider lore of yoga and Tantra and Shakti. This is usually considered senior practice, and it is often presented in a very complex manner. Future tutorials will simplify all this. It is the repetition and practice that is most important, but this is still a part of the whole gamut of mechanisms that are engaged when using mantras. Therefore, alongside practice comes awareness and knowledge about use of mantras, which will help to ensure better outcomes. Techniques. Repetition of a mantra is called japa, and this is what you want to be doing for enlightenment now. It is deemed helpful to do repetition at a quiet time, such as dusk or dawn, sitting in a quiet and comfortable place, using a good posture and a distraction-free environment. One can also use a rosary or mala to keep a log or count. Use verbal or mental repetitions, or even write. Choose your mantra. Do the japa. A mantra can be tailor-made for the individual and may change as practice progresses. Multiple mantras can be used, as some mantras are prayers. They are extended mantras, and a longer prayer may precede the repetition of a short mantra, such as a seed mantra. A guru or teacher at this point will be very useful. Hari Om Tat Sat.